Imagine being known as the most controversial figure on the planet. A legendary mystic shrouded in dark rumors and wild legends. What do you do for a summer vacation? You grab a tent, pack up a bucket of bright red paint, and completely vanish onto a tiny, overgrown island in the middle of New York's Hudson River. The year was 1918. Aleister Crowley, the eccentric British occultist, was living in America and decided he needed a serious break from society. He wasn't looking for a luxury resort or a cabin. Instead, he sought extreme, punishing isolation. He chose Esopus Island, a small rocky strip of land nestled in the Hudson River, just a couple of hours north of Manhattan. Crowley decided he was embarking on a magical retirement. For 40 days and 40 nights, he lived entirely off the grid. And he didn't exactly keep a low profile while doing it. The very first thing he did was scale the steep rock faces of the island. Using the paint he bought, he painted massive towering symbols in his famous personal motto, "Do what thou wilt," right on the cliffs for the entire river to see. You can only imagine what the local fishermen thought. They'd be floating down the quiet, historic Hudson River, only to look up and see strange, giant symbols and a robed man wandering the rocky shores. Rumors immediately began to swirl. Because of the global conflicts happening at the time, some locals thought he was a secret agent doing covert work, and others were convinced that he was just a wealthy eccentric that has completely lost his mind. But what was Crowley doing out there in the wilderness? Mostly, he was putting his mind and body through extreme endurance tests. He practiced intense meditation and severe fasting, sometimes going entirely without food to push his consciousness to the absolute limit. During his time, he claimed to experience profound, otherworldly visions, tapping into the hidden realms of the mind. But he wasn't just sitting still. When he wasn't deep in a trance, he was actually being highly productive. He spent his days on the island translating the ancient Chinese text, the Tao Te Ching, blending ancient Eastern philosophy with his own unique brand of Western mysticism. Survival wasn't entirely a solo mission, though he wanted it to seem that way. While he spent the vast majority of his time completely alone, a few of his friends from New York City would occasionally row out across the river. They would quietly drop off small rations of food and basic supplies on the shoreline so he wouldn't completely waste away during his 40-day retreat. Eventually, the 40 days ended. Crowley packed up his tent, left his giant red cliff paintings behind, and returned to civilization, leaving the local townspeople utterly baffled by the whole ordeal. Today, Esopus Island is still there, largely untouched, unbothered, and overgrown with nature. It's a quiet spot, often passed by kayakers and boaters who have absolutely no idea of the bizarre, mystical history hidden within those trees. The red paint has long since washed away into the river, but the legend of the 40 days, the world's most infamous occultist, claimed a tiny New York island as his own personal sanctuary, still echoes down the Hudson.